A new poll of millennials shows that that specific age group is backing away from both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Now, this is according to a Yik Yak poll, right? And basically, what it is a location-based social network, which is made up primarily of millennials. Now, we know a lot of millennials went towards Bernie Sanders. Now that Bernie Sanders has endorsed Hillary Clinton, that specific age group is starting to back away to look for other options. Now, how many of them? According to this survey, nearly half of millennials that supported Bernie Sanders are now thinking about going third party. Now, this poll, which asked Sanders supporters whether or not Bernie Sanders' endorsement of Hillary Clinton had changed their opinion, 48% of those said, no, I'd rather go and vote for a third party. 48%, just about half. Well, okay, well, who decided to stay and vote for Hillary Clinton? That's about 39%, and 13% said that they may end up supporting Donald Trump. Now, okay, so 13%, it kind of makes me feel like mixed on that, right? It's only 13%, but nonetheless, man, 13%, that's a little high. Look, it's obvious, to me, I think, that a lot of these people might have been right-leaning independents that, look, we're tired of the system, so they went with Bernie instead of Trump. Now, these people, in my opinion, they were never going to vote for Clinton, right? They were never going to vote for Clinton, but they looked at Bernie and said, this guy, I may not agree with him fully, but I know he can't be bought. I know he's honest. I know he sticks to his convictions. So yes, I'm going to choose him because I want to fight against the political establishment. Now that Bernie Sanders, yes, he is still in the race. He hasn't actually conceded the nomination at this point. So technically he's still running, but he has endorsed Hillary Clinton at this point. So a lot of millennials look at it and say, well, you know, either I'm not going to vote for Clinton, or I'm going to vote for Trump. Anyway, as far as why 48% won't vote for Clinton, well, they're tired of the establishment, and Clinton is the face of the establishment. So here we have the smug DNC sitting here thinking that, hey, millennials, you're going to have to line up behind our terrible candidate. I mean, where are you going to go? You going to go to Trump? Well, 13% of them said, yeah, we'll go to Trump. We were going to go to the Democratic Party. We were going to become Democrats. But since you spat in our eye, well, no, we're saying, fuck you. We're going to go to Trump. Now, I don't agree with that. I detest Trump. He is a terrible candidate. He claims to be against the establishment. He claims to want to change the system. He ain't going to change a goddamn thing. The only change he's looking for is more change in his wallet. Anyway. As I said, Trump, epic disaster, right? And I think those 39% of millennials that are lining up behind Clinton, now I'm sure a lot of them do like what Clinton is saying, because millennials are far more progressive, right? Some of them, I'm assuming, are saying, look, I like Bernie Sanders, I voted for Bernie Sanders, I supported Bernie Sanders. I cannot, in good conscience, support Donald Trump. And so, you know, they might look at voting a third party as in, look, I like Jill Stein, but she'll never win. Some of them might even lean towards Gary Johnson, but say, look, this guy's got no chance. And we're not going to take any chance of electing Donald Trump. Basically, they're doing everything in their power to defeat Donald Trump, even if that means pulling the lever for the worst Democratic candidate ever presented to us by the establishment. And to the establishment, I say, well played. You literally have a gun to our head named Donald Trump. Well played. This couldn't have worked out any better for the establishment. But the rest, as I mentioned, that 48%, they're looking for other options. Now, a lot of them will go to Jill Stein, who's a huge, huge progressive. Some are going to go to Gary Johnson. Now, as I said, those people who are going to Gary Johnson, they're probably right-leaning independents that loathe Donald Trump. Now, what the establishment missed in their infinite wisdom is that these people were never going to go to Clinton in the first place. Bernie Sanders successfully had a huge coalition of people who would never vote for a Democrat and would have had them into the Democratic Party. We had a chance to turn them into Democrats, and instead the DNC decided to go with the most distrusted candidate we've ever had run in our lifetime. Someone with the highest negativity ratings, with what a wasted opportunity to grow the progressive movement. Look, we're not going to see anything like this again for a very long time, and that of course makes me incredibly sad. Now that's not to say that Jill Stein doesn't have a chance. That's not to say that Gary Johnson doesn't have a chance. Now, I'm not a fan of Gary Johnson. I agree with him about half of the positions. The other half are kooky, libertarian economics, which make no sense in the real world. They sound great on paper, freedom, liberty. But you can't actually run a successful government on that. Let's just get rid of all regulations, get rid of all social programs, and, give tax breaks to everybody, including the super, super rich, and let's see how that turns out. My guess is not very well. That's the libertarian platform. Look, and Donald Trump, his plans don't go quite that far, but they're pretty kooky as far as that goes. And the social, the social issues that Donald Trump is going to be fighting for, not good. And a lot of anti-gay stuff. If you've looked at that Republican platform, it is absolutely terrible. It is garbage. So that's what you have. But we could have had those people that, those 13% that would vote for Trump, the 48% who were looking for other options, all of that could have went to the Democratic Party. And they wasted that opportunity. And as I said, that is the absolute worst thing that you could do. You ruined your chance, DNC, by not letting Bernie Sanders get the nomination.